I've got this friend, Shona. This is Shona. She's an absolute delight. And we sat around one night in the Royal Academy of the Arts in London, in Piccadilly. And she was complaining to me how she wasn't making enough money from her course. She had a great course. She had a good audience, good sized email list, and she wasn't making enough money from it. And it was kind of winding her up. She was feeling a bit annoyed about it. And we talked through some of the ideas I'm going to go through in this session. And she was able the next day to make an extra $1,500. She's now managed to double her revenue that she's making overall. And it's made this huge difference to her life. So how did it work? Let me explain. This talk is a 3-step process for scaling your online course revenue 10x on autopilot using automated funnels. And that's very descriptive, and hopefully it's allowed you to understand what's going to be covered here, piqued your interest. But I was thinking, could we come up with a more fun title? So I also was thinking, I'm going to show you a lot of automated funnels and how they work, and you don't have to show me anything. So I thought maybe I could call it, I'll show you mine and you don't have to show me yours. I thought maybe that's a bit too silly. But then I was thinking about that TV show. Don't know if you remember, I guess from the 90s, called Pimp My Ride. They had a UK version of it as well. And I thought, since we're looking at these funnels today, maybe instead of Pimp My Ride, we could get rid of the ride bit and we could call it Pimp My Funnel. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be looking at how to pimp your funnel. So before we get going, I just want to warn you, I am going to cover a lot pretty fast. So please do pay close attention. Now, who is this for? This is for you if you have built up a big audience already through SEO or YouTube or podcasting or blogging or writing books. And it's for you if you've got good product market fit. And by that, I mean people like your courses. People who are in your audience buy your courses already. They tell you how great they are. And it's also for you, clearly, if you are selling online courses. This is an online course system that I'm going to be showing you. So if that's you, great. We're going to get on well here. Now, here's what people tell me. People who are in that kind of situation normally tell me that they're not making as much money from their business as they'd like. Their customer lifetime value is lower than they'd like, and that they're missing out on a lot of new customers. And when I dig a little bit deeper about this and look at the emotions of it, I tend to hear, I feel stuck. It's a bit overwhelming. I'm frustrated. I know I could be doing something better, but I don't know how. I know I need a marketing funnel, but I don't have the time to learn them. And if I work on my funnel, it stops me from focusing on other things. Maybe, fuck it. Maybe I should just keep working on what I know how to do instead of putting my effort into my funnel because I don't know what's going to work. And I kind of feel that people are a little bit agitated about that. So if that's you, that's totally normal, right? You're not alone. There's others who are feeling the same way. Don't feel bad about it. I totally get where you're coming from. I can see why that's difficult. And my goal, therefore, today for this workshop is to help you understand how much difference an ideal funnel could make in your business and to understand what kind of funnel would work for you. So I'm going to show you today this 3-step process we always start with every client. This is when we do an audit for a client. We do this 3-step process. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. And at the end of it, people can see exactly what's going to be effective for them and what the right next step is. So who am I and why should you listen to what I've got to say about this? My name is John Ainsworth. I run data-driven marketing. We are an agency that builds funnels for online courses. We help people who have online courses and who have a decent sized audience already to convert more visitors to leads, more leads into sales, and more sales into repeat sales. And I'm one of the organizers of this event, of the whole summit, me and Mike Laban. Mike's from Results Story, and they do video testimonials. And the way that I learn all of this stuff about funnels was 10 years of working on funnels. It's not rocket science, I've taken loads of courses. I think I figured it out. It's about $50,000 worth of courses. I've been in a funnel mastermind with other people who were much smarter than me, knew much more about this kind of thing, learned from them. worked on some really cool projects where they already had some bits in place and they wanted us to work on some other steps. So I got to see what worked, and I got to pull out basically what I've done over all those years. I've pulled out everything that worked and put it into this system. And then that's what I'm sharing with you today. This is like the highlights. This is the kind of overview of everything that, that we found to work for promoting online courses through funnels. So there's 3 steps altogether, like I mentioned. And the 3 steps are: map out your existing funnel. And a lot of people think, I don't really have much in place. You've probably got more than you think. And it's really important to know what you've got and to identify what's working there. Step 2, map out your ideal funnel. What is it that it should look like? How do you know what that's going to be? I'm going to explain it, don't worry. And step 3, figure out how much money it will make you. And because, no, I'll come back to that, that's fine. So map out your existing, so there we go, right. We can't figure out for definite how much it will make you, but we can make some estimates. We can figure out how much it might make you. So let's look at step 1, map out your existing funnel. So step 1 here, what the fuck is a funnel? Well, this is a funnel is basically just a name for all of the steps that lead from someone reaching your website through to becoming a repeat customer. What's all the automated bits you have in place there? Is it landing pages? Is it sales pages? Follow-up emails with those people with useful content, promotional emails that you send, any of that kind of stuff, that's basically your funnel. And when people talk about a funnel, they're normally representing it like this. This is the normal diagram. You've probably seen this before, right? The idea is top level is visitors, and then people who sign up and become a lead, and then people who maybe reach your sales page, and then people who buy, and then people who buy again, that kind of thing. And the thing with this is it looks very neat, looks very organized. You know, you pour traffic in the top and lovely money comes out the bottom. But in my experience, most funnels are a little bit more like this, and they're just pissing out money and traffic left, right, and center. They've got all kinds of gaps in there, all kinds of holes. So what we're going to do today, we're going to start out by mapping out an existing funnel for Alan Matthews from Classical Guitar Shed. This is Alan, very charming guy, very nice, very smart, been teaching guitar, classical guitar for a long time, very, very good at it. Set up an online course many years ago and has been kind of working on his whole system, built up a whole big audience since then. So let's look at some of the details about Alan. He has got online courses for learning classical guitar, 42,000 website visitors a month, so very respectable, good search engine traffic, mostly through Google and some through YouTube. He gets 800 email subscribers a month, and that means about 2% of people who visit his site are opting in, which is strong, which is good. He's making $18,000 a month in revenue, and each customer on average is worth $600 or more to him. And he's making that money mostly through doing launches, and he's got an onboarding promotional sequence, and I'll show you those in a minute. So this is his website, Classical Guitar Shed. And let's now start to map out his funnel. I'm going to use a tool here called Funnelytics. It's a free tool. They have a paid version, but you can do the basic mapping for free. And I'll show you that here. So you've got the website, Classical Guitar Shed, and that's getting traffic through search. And then we've also got his sheet music library, which is a whole load of different pieces of sheet music he's put up for free in order to get more search engine traffic. And he's got blog posts, and that's getting loads of search traffic through to those as well. And also they get traffic from YouTube. And on all of those pages, he has opt-ins. And that's one of the reasons he has a 2% opt-in rate, because he has opt-ins on all the pages. After someone has opted in, they're asked to share on Facebook. And then after that, if they share on Facebook, they're then asked to opt in for a free email course. Now, after the opt-ins, they get 4 emails. And either it's this welcome sequence here, or it's a 4 email video course. And it depends which opt-in they come from. And after that, they get 4 emails promoting his membership, which is a 1-year annual membership, and they go to an annual membership sales page. If they don't opt in for that, they get sent this 4-email promotional sequence promoting his monthly membership sales page. And then after that, they get an email every Tuesday and Friday. He follows up regularly with them, carries on sending useful content. And then 2 to 3 times a year, he sends a few emails as a launch with a promotional discount, pointing people back to the annual membership sales page. Once somebody gets to the sales page, they get taken to an order page. And if they don't check out, if they get partway through checking out but don't finish, they get cart abandonment emails. Now, if you're not sure what cart abandonment emails are, I'll show you an example. So here we go. This is not one of Alan's. So this is from a company called Nugs. They sell chicken nuggets. It's quite funny. That's why I included this one. So this is, I guess, the person's first name. Abhishek, WTF. Nugs, your nugs are getting cold. We were fucking halfway done preparing your order and you dipped. Just like that. You closed the tab and since then you've been ghosting us. We don't want to have to throw these out. Here, even take this discount code, don't be chicken 10 for 10% off. Please buy them. Thanks. That is a cart abandonment email. They tend to be very simple, very straightforward. And you can just implement something like that using most email marketing systems or most checkout systems. So he's got those kind of emails at each of these points, each of the order pages. And if someone orders, they get to a thank you page. And that is what he has in place. So that is the whole funnel that he has built. He's studied different kind of email marketing stuff and learned how to set all this up himself technically. And it is a really solid start. And it's actually, I would say, this is more advanced than what a lot of our clients have when they come and talk to us. But it's not, but yeah, it's slightly above average, I would say. And to me, this makes me think, since we're going to carry on with our pimp your funnel, pimp my ride kind of idea, I thought I'd compare this to a car. And I think, in my mind, this is like the 1969 Cadillac DeVille, an absolute beautiful classic, but maybe it needs a little bit more love. So here we go. Here's one of them out in the parking lot, hasn't been given the TLC that it deserves. So there's 3 steps that I told you about. That was step 1, map out your existing funnel. Step 2 is then map out your ideal funnel. Step 3 is figure out how much money it might make you. So let's look at step 2 now, map out your ideal funnel. Now, what does an ideal funnel look like? There's a couple of different models. Like, I would say there's 4 different elements that you can use: tripwires, webinars, launches, and email promotions. And I'm going to talk you through a couple of those now and show you the most common ones and how you put it all together and what's involved, what all the steps are. So let's go back to Alan's funnel. Here it is. And what I want to do is zoom in on this top left corner, because this is a really powerful area to focus on. And so let's zoom in there and let's look at the fact at the moment he's got opt-ins going to sharing on Facebook and then a free email course opt-in. Now this page here, share on Facebook, this is actually one of the most powerful pages in your entire funnel. And you might not realize that, but this is incredibly powerful, really, really important page here. I would go so far as to say it's almost magical. Now, let's have a little look at what we could do instead. But to do that, I need to tell you how I learned about the importance of this page. So I was working on a project, a funnel for a council, public sector, local government in the UK. And they wanted us to build them a system that was going to let people sign up to take part in an activity. So they're promoting, yoga sessions, running, football, this kind of thing. And they had a website that they asked us to, well, we built a website for them with all the different vouchers. So all the different activities, and you could get a voucher to try these activities for free. So you could sign up, you could fill in your name and email and submit, and you get a voucher. Now, we then wanted people to give us more information about themselves and tell us their age, gender, how active they were at the moment, that kind of thing. That was really important to the government to know that kind of thing. And so we would send them an email after they signed up. And in the email, we would ask them to fill in a survey and tell us about how active they currently were and answer all those questions. And we got about 7% of people would fill that in. And it was a bit frustrating because they really wanted that information from more people. So we tried out a bunch of different things. We tried out different email headlines. We tried adding a prize draw. None of them made a huge difference. It went up to about 10%. So really, we haven't changed all that much. And one day we had this idea, like maybe just after someone's filled in the survey, signed up for the voucher, we'll put the survey on the next page. So we just put it straight away after someone signed up. Here was the survey on the next page. And what we found was it went from 10% to 70%, 7-0. It's just incredible. We're like, what on earth is going on? Turns out this page is really important. You've got someone's attention, you've got their focus. So it's really useful to put whatever your next action is here. Now that's nice. We got the information for our survey, but what else could we get? Digital Marketer, we went and studied some of their courses, and we found out that you can actually use that to sell something called a tripwire. Now, a tripwire is basically a cheap product that allows someone to get started buying from you really easily. So after somebody has signed up for your lead magnet, you offer them something that is like a no-brainer product for them to just get started. Something that, not your main course, but like a bit of your main course, probably some resource from in your main course. And you offer this to give people a way to get started buying from you. And about 1 to 5% of people will buy at this stage. So we took that idea and we applied that for a client of ours, Serve No Master. This is Jonathan Green, and he teaches people about how to get out of their corporate job through podcasting, blogging, ghostwriting, a few of those kind of things. He's very good at it, has some great courses, and he had a lead magnet that looked like, the page for it was like this. Discover the 7 reasons you can't finish your product. And people were signing up for that, and then they would just get a thank you message. And you probably got this. This is like the normal thing, as most people at that stage, just after someone signs up, they just put a thank you message. So we replaced it in, you can see it was done in ClickFunnels, with this. I made this product in 1 day. Why not follow my exact example and get your first customers? So it's basically a little course that he's got that teaches people how to get their product to work. So if you remember on the previous page, it was saying discover the 7 reasons you can't finish your product. And here he was saying how to make your product quickly, get something out in the hands of your customers or your prospects. And he normally sells it for like $40, and he reduced it to $7 to make it a total no-brainer for people to sign up. And straight away, people started signing up for it. Straight away, like the next day, he was getting customers for it. And so he started making good money from that. And I'm going to show you some of the other things he put in place as well. So after the opt-in, we want to have a tripwire sales page. And like I said, 1 to 5% of people will buy at this stage. The goal of this is not to make a lot of money. It's to get people to sign up as customers. So how can we make this more effective? Well, if we look at other companies and what they do, if we look at Amazon, what we find is that Amazon, if you go there and you want to buy a book, let's say you want to buy this book on property investment, How to Survive and Thrive in the New World of Buy-to-Let, you put this into your cart, what happens next? You get sent to this page saying it's added to basket, and you get suggested some other things you might want to get along with it. And it's a similar kind of idea if you go to McDonald's. You go in and you order a Big Mac, and they're going to say, do you want fries with that? Very simple idea, just something else that goes with your main product. In online courses, the way you use that approach is known as an order bump. And so you put on the order page, someone's added something to cart, you go to the order page, you then have on that page an order bump. And that is a little tick box to allow people to add something else that goes with the tripwire product. So here's an example of how that looks. You have a little box, you say 1 or 2 sentences about the offer. So one-time offer. I'd also like to get the over-the-shoulder videos that walk me through every single step of the passive profit system. This is not to do with Jonathan's course. This is just an example of a page that does this. For only $19 extra and $97 value. That's all you have to do is like you're selling a course about something, and then you also get the over-the-shoulder videos that go with that course. There always needs to be complementary things that go together. There's a little tick box, arrow pointing to it and saying, yes, I want access for $19. That's it. Now, if you put the right offer here and you put the right price and it goes nicely with your main tripwire, then you will find you will get about 25 to even maybe 60, or the highest I've ever seen is 80% of people also buying this order bump. So it gives you it increases the amount of money people are spending. So that's nice. We've got that in place. Okay. what's next? The next idea is an upsell. And this is where you actually sell your main product. What is it you really wanted to sell? And in fact, when you're putting these together, you start with this and you work backwards to decide on what the tripwire is, and then work back from that to decide on the lead magnet. So this is like your main thing you want to sell. This might be something you're selling for like, I don't know, $150, $200, whatever. It might be something you normally sell for $400, but you're going to do a special offer for $200 if people buy at this point. Something kind of along those lines. Depends on your audience. You're selling B2B, B2C, that kind of thing. But that's the kinds of price points we're looking at. Now, an upsell, the way that works in the real world, you go to Starbucks, you could just buy a regular coffee, right? You know, like a few bucks. Or you could spend more and you could get the Starbucks Reserve Hazelnut Bianco Latte, you know, the really fancy version of it, the grande one. And that's going to cost you, I don't know what, I don't go to Starbucks, like $10, I'm not sure. Or you could really splash out, and this is supposedly the second most expensive Starbucks drink ever, $102. So they will give you, it will serve you the more expensive version, whatever you want. They're going to be able to charge you some more to get you the more fancy version. So that's basically what you have here as an upsell sales page to sell that. And what you do here is you use a system called a one-click upsell. You could do this in ClickFunnels and other systems. We just happen to use ClickFunnels internally. And you basically put like a video or a short explanation of that main thing, and you give people the chance to just, they've already put the credit card details in, they can just click, yes, I also want this, and it charges them as well. So they don't have to put the card details in again. Now, guys, this isn't a new idea. Like I said, this exists in the real world. And in my imagination, right, so I'm thinking this has been around for thousands of years. And so in my imagination, it's like back in the Egyptian times, you would have had like a hieroglyphs, you know, showing you could buy the regular bird, or for 5 shekels extra, you could buy the fancy bird that also flies. That's not what this says, but like that's kind of how I'm thinking about it. Or they could have had, back in Roman times, they could have had a similar show. Instead of Pimp My Ride, they would have had Pimp My Chariot. So it's like this kind of thing, this kind of idea has been around for a long time. So you have the upsell. Now, what do you do next? You also next offer somebody a second upsell. So this is like they've bought your main offer, what you were working towards. What else might they want to get that's complementary that go with it? You've sold someone a course on, I don't know, let's say in my example, in my case, like building funnels. You might also sell a course on Facebook ads. So that's the kind of idea. You have something else that also goes well with it. All of this stuff here is going to greatly increase your average order value, the amount people are spending with you. And then you get through to a thank you page at the end of it. So how do you build all of these pages? Like I said, well, you could do it in WordPress, right? And I've done it in WordPress before, and it's a bit of a pain in the butt. You install plugins and it's tricky because those plugins then clash with other plugins and it doesn't work very easily. And so what we use is a system called ClickFunnels. You've probably heard of it. It's one from Russell Brunson. The idea with it is specifically designed for funnels. If you make changes on this, it's not going to break your main website. If you build the funnel in this, you're not affecting your SEO for your main site. This is just like you've got your main site in WordPress, and then all the funnels are done in ClickFunnels off of that. And it's easy to build the funnel, which means it's quicker to make some money from it. So we really like that system. And one of the problems people have, they think, oh, where am I going to set it up? What website address at? Well, you can set it up at secure.yourwebsite.com, or we've got ours at funnels.datadrivenmarketing.co. So that's how you set that up. So next step is setting up some emails. So once you've got this whole funnel in place, you then set up emails to keep people on track. People are going to drop out at all different stages. You send some emails to keep them on track. So you have those abandoned cart emails. We talked about those before. And then we also have this countdown funnel. So if someone buys the tripwire, but they don't buy the upsell, we send them 3 emails talking about how great the offer here is. And you mentioned just content from on the upsell sales page. A lot of people won't bother to read it. You send them some useful stuff from it. And then the last one is like a, last chance to buy this at the discount, and point people back there again. You set up some more countdown funnel emails for the second upsell as well. So if people buy upsell 1, but they don't buy upsell 2. And by the way, you only send one of these sequences. Like if they buy upsell 1 after getting these emails, you don't then send them upsell 2. Now, what does this do? What's the benefit of putting all of this stuff in place? it gets you about a 5 to 7% more revenue coming through this. So how do you set up all the email automations? I don't really like MailChimp for this kind of thing. If you try and use MailChimp for it, you'll find that it's actually a bit shit for setting up these kind of automations. But ActiveCampaign I really like. ConvertKit's decent as well for it as well. I personally think ActiveCampaign's the best for doing all of this kind of stuff. It's pretty easy to use, it's affordable, it's powerful. And no, I'm not paid by ActiveCampaign and ClickFunnels to say this. This is just what we use. So we've put all of that stuff in place, right? Now we've converted our front-end funnel, the first funnel people see, from that 1969 Cadillac DeVille to we've really given it some TLC. We've taken it in, we've tuned up the engine, we've got it running really smoothly, we've given it a new lick of paint, we've given it a polish, looks great. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually add in some retargeting ads as well. So this is those ads, you know, they can be a bit annoying, I'll admit. They're kind of the chase you around the internet ads. You know, you've just looked at something and then you see some more ads for it elsewhere. And so we're going to put these in place here. Basically, for anybody who didn't finish, who dropped out at that stage, we're going to show them these ads. I learned about this from a company called Tier 11. My wife is director of media buying over there, and they are a Facebook ads agency. They're really, really good, and they do Facebook ads for all kinds of big online companies, all kinds of online brands you'll have heard of. And they've got this system called the Ecommerce ad amplifier, and it shows exactly what kind of ad you have at what stage. It's all very, very clever. And we've adapted that to be for online courses. And what we do is we put different retargeting ads and the specific kinds of ads that work at each of these different stages here. And by the way, you only do this on the front end funnel, and I'll explain why later on. So what we've got now is we've got our front end funnel built, and I'm zooming out a little bit because if we look down here, we've got all this other stuff that we can do some more work on next. Oh yeah, also, of course, I forgot to say, we're going to put retargeting ads back in place here and here at the very beginning of the funnel as well. So this is now what we've got in place so far. So we've really souped up this beginning part of the funnel. This is the first funnel that somebody sees after they sign up. Very, very important one, this. Like I said, I'll explain more why later. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add in a turbocharger. And a turbocharger is a piece of equipment you put into an engine that basically pumps air into the engine and it makes it go way faster. So we're going to do that by focusing on this bit down over here. So if I go back 2 slides, this is this part down here. What we're basically moving is we're saying they get this initial sequence. This is great. This promotion of the annual membership, this promotion of the monthly membership, this is great. Then they go into this regular content with 2 to 3 launches. We're going to move this part over. So they're still going to get these Tuesday and Friday emails, but in here, we're going to do a lot more. So what we're going to do is, this is going to happen every week or 2, right? We're going to have free content from one of his courses. So with Alan Matthews' funnel, his whole system, he's got a membership and it has all of his courses. We're going to break out individual courses and we're going to take a few bits of content from each of those courses. So we're going to take useful little snippets, things that people can implement straight away. So let's just imagine, I know nothing about classical guitar, right? But let's imagine one of them is about the way that you strum or the way that you pick or what kind of, a way to work on your fingering to make sure that your fingers are strong enough to reach out to a certain point. And it's like some tips someone can work on really quickly. So you pull all those out and you put like 1 tip a day for a few days. And then you have a few promotional emails. And in those promotional emails, you point people through to that course and you make that course available at a discount. I know some people don't like doing discounts. If you really don't want to do a discount, then you can do it at full price, but you include some bonuses that go with it. But you need to have something that makes it a better deal than normal to give people urgency and scarcity to crack on and get it. After they buy if they buy the individual course, let's say, for example, at $50 or $90 or something, right? Then they get sent through to an order page. You have an order bump. You recognize this, right? You've seen this already. You then have upsell 1, you have upsell 2 in place. You have some cart abandonment emails, all of that whole thing, like we set up here, but just going down this way now. And so you set all of that up. Then what you do is you repeat this whole thing for a different course. So every couple of weeks. Now I mentioned Shona earlier, and I said that she's managed to double her revenue. This is like the main part of what she's done. She set up this funnel up here, and she set up every couple of weeks, she sends a promotional sequence like this. She sends useful content to people, 5 emails over the course of a week. So we've got here 6 emails, she does it as 5, right? She does 5 emails, all of which mention at the top, you can get this course at a discount. At the end of the email, it mentions you can get this course at a discount, or have some bonuses with it. And in between, everything is like useful tips from that course. 4 emails in a row, she does that. And the 5th email is like, last chance to get it at the discount, this is going to go away. It would work even better if she did it exactly the way I've laid out here, but she's comfortable with doing it that way, so that's how she's got it laid out. And then afterwards, she has her upsells and all of this set up. It's allowed her to double her revenue. So you do that, and then you set it up to do it again another week or 2 later, and then again another week or 2 later. And most of this is like useful, valuable content, so nobody minds getting it. It works unbelievably well. Trust me on this, right? Really trust me. So you do that every week or 2, send out a sequence like this. You could send out these 6 emails over 2 weeks, or you could send out 5 emails over a week or something, and then do it again a week or 2 later. That's the basic idea. Now, what we've basically done is we've proper souped up our funnel at this point, like seriously. This is now like flames coming out the back. It's like taking off. It's so powerful. This thing is moving. I'll give you an example, somebody else. So this is Tom Sears with his lovely girlfriend, Catherine. And I've been in the mastermind with him for a couple of years, and he does this really, really well. He has one front-end funnel, like the Tripwire funnel I showed you before, and then he's got every week, he sends out another series of emails, 3 useful emails, 3 promotional emails. He does it every week. And he does it for blues guitar, blues guitar mastery, or blues guitar master, sorry. And he does it every week, and he makes an ungodly amount of money from it. I can't share the exact amount, but it's a lot of money. So what other kinds of funnels are there? That's one of the main ones, right? The Tripwire funnel, where you have the cheap thing at the front and then you have upsells up behind it. The other main one is the webinar funnel. And I haven't got time to go through that one today, but if you get the all access pass, you can get hold of this funnel map. If you're on our email, so by being part of the summit, you'll also get emails from us regularly about funnels. And you're going to see, we're going to do videos, I'm sure, at some point where we explain all about this. And you can kind of get details of how this webinar funnel one works too. So that's the webinar funnel. And this is like, webinars are very, very powerful. They work really, really well. This is for selling something directly. There's also a high ticket webinar funnel, which is basically, I know I didn't go through the last one, so you can't tell, but like instead at the end, the other one had like making the offer of the course and the upsells, that kind of thing. This one's go to booking a strategy call. And there's a friend of mine, James Svitek, who runs B&B Mastery Program. He uses this, works fantastically well, makes tens of thousands of dollars a month from doing this, and really, really successful. Now, there's 2 reactions that I get when I show people all of this. First reaction is, this sounds amazing. And the second one is, it looks like a lot of work. And I'll be honest with you, the reason it looks like a lot of work is because it's a lot of work. So, is it worth it? We've gone through 2 stages so far. Step 1 was map out your existing funnel. Step 2 was map out your ideal funnel. Step 3 is figure out how much money it might make you. So now we're going to go on to step 3 to figure out how much money it might make you, and therefore you can figure out if it's worth it. So, how much money it might make you. First of all, we're going to look at how much money it might make Alan. We're going to do the example for him before we move on to you. So how much might this be worth per month to Alan? The Tripwire funnel, which is that front end funnel I showed you with all of the bells and whistles, everything going across the top of the page. This is going to make about a couple of $1,000s a month with his traffic. This is based on, he's got 42,000 website visitors, 2% opt-in rate, and about 1 to 5% of people will buy the Tripwire. So that's going to make him about $500. The order bump, about another $100. Upsell 1 is the majority of the money, $1,000. Upsell 2, $500. Total about $2,000. Okay. Then the email follow-up sequences is going to make him $10,000. per month. Additionally, and that's if he has this every 2 weeks, sorry, twice a month. If he has promotion go out twice a month to his whole list, promotes it really well, has the upsells in place, that's how much I calculate about it should be able to make. That is, it requires building it for every couple of weeks, optimizing it, setting up all the upsells, loads of stuff involved, but that's how much it could make. So $12,000 extra per month. So on the face of it, this bit here looks like by far the most important one, and this is going to make you much more money straight away. This one is actually the most important one and long term, and I'll explain why later. So he's currently making $18,000 a month. He adds this on top. That's about $12,000 a month. That gets him to $30,000 a month. That's great, right? Like, who doesn't want to increase their revenue that much? So he's currently got, what else could we do, right, to improve that? He's currently got a 2% opt-in rate. So 2% of his website visitors opt in to get his emails and to hear from him. And if you want to figure out your opt-in rate, you just take your number of opt-ins in a month and your number of unique website visitors in a month, and you divide the opt-ins by the website visitors, times it by 100. That gives you the percentage. A little bit of maths class there for you. So he's currently getting a 2% opt-in rate, and that's strong. It's much better than most people. Most people are about 0.5%. So he's way ahead. But if you do really well, if you really crush it with this, you can get to 5%. And best we've ever done for a client was 7.5%. So let's say he goes from 2% to 5%. Now that means he's got 2.5 times as many leads. Does that mean 2.5 times as much profit? I don't know. It's hard to say for sure, right? The people who opted in already are probably the most keen. So if we improve the opt-in rate by making it easier to opt in, the other ones maybe aren't as keen. So let's say it's not 2.5 times as much. Let's say 1.5 times. I think that's reasonable. So he's gone from $30,000 now to $45,000 a month in revenue, which is potentially $500,000 a year if he does all of these things right. Now, how much is this worth to you? What is the amount that you can make from it? I've got a calculator you can use. If you go to datadrivenmarketing.co/calculator, then you can use this calculator for free, and it's going to estimate the amount of revenue you could make. Now, the amount it's going to tell you is how much you're going to make from that front end funnel. So the number I said, where it was $2,000 a month for Alan, that's what this is for you. It's not for all the email follow-up and that stuff as well. We might change this later, but for the moment, that will give you an idea of what that front end funnel could make for you. And I'm going to explain in a minute why that front end funnel is so important. So just think about this, right? We've gone from, if we put all of this stuff in place, Alan could potentially make, instead of 18,000 a year, he could go to 50,000. Sorry, 18,000 a month to 50,000 a month, or 45, I think it was. So wait a second, right? That means that every visitor is worth 3 times what they used to be worth. So it could be cool if we could drive some more traffic there. Because if he's getting 3 times more from the same traffic, if we could drive more traffic, now it could be worth more. Maybe we could afford to spend some of that money on link building so he gets more SEO juice, or on content. Sorry, the slides are frozen. Here we go. Well, who else has traffic that we could access? This fucker has traffic, Mark Zuckerberg. So we go to Facebook, maybe we could get some traffic from them. Maybe we could get some of that. Maybe if we paid them, we could get some of that traffic. Remember this dude earlier, Tom Sears? This is exactly what he does. He doesn't have any SEO traffic at all. He gets all of his traffic from Facebook. So he pays for Facebook ads, people come through to his website, through to that funnel. Now, this is where it's crucially important. They go through to his front end funnel, that tripwire funnel we showed across the top, the one that was only making $2,000 a month from the existing traffic. But he drives traffic directly to the tripwire sales page. So you build that whole thing, you put it behind your lead magnets, and that allows you to test it, get it working, get some money from it. But the real place that it works is you drive money directly to that tripwire sales page. And we've tested this out for clients. This works way better than going to the lead magnets first. So he makes money from doing it with Facebook ads, but he also makes money from YouTube ads. He drives traffic from YouTube ads there as well. So this is all going through to Blues Guitar Master. So what we're doing, if we look back at this whole funnel, right, that we built out for Alan, we look at basically we're going to send some more traffic to this. If we focus on the top left corner, what I'm doing is zooming in on this top left corner here. We're going to send cold ads through to, you can send it through to the opt-in, or you can send them directly through to the Tripwire sales page. And that's actually, we learned from Tom and we learned from our own experience, that actually works better. And you can drive YouTube ads going in there as well. So you've now got more traffic coming in. What does that do to revenue? Well, it depends how well you can run the ads, right? There's other talks in the summit that are explaining about how to run the Facebook ads, how to run YouTube ads, all these kind of things, right? So if you can manage to get that working, or you hire someone to do it for you who does a great job for you, what can you do to your revenue after this? Could you 2x it? Could you 3x it? Could you 10x it? Maybe. It depends, right? There's a lot of factors involved here, a lot of things you have to get right, but it's possible. Depends. How good are your products? How big is your market? Basically, this is the idea here, is this is how you scale a business. So what we're looking at here, guys, is getting kind of exciting. You can hear in my voice, right? This is getting kind of exciting. There's a ton of work here, don't get me wrong, right? But this is something that you can put into place. This is something you can get to work. So now we've proper pimped up our car. Now we've got the one that's bouncing up and down, right? So you know who else does this? Mind Valley. If you've heard of them, they do courses on personal development. They do this. This is exactly how their funnels work. Digital Marketer, they do this. So Mind Valley use a webinar funnel as their front-end funnel. Digital Marketer do Tripwire ones. ClickFunnels, they do this with webinar funnels. Organifi, very successful supplement company. Tony Robbins does this. Lady Boss does this. Basically, this is what everybody does. All the people who are really successful selling online courses, this is what they're doing. Now, you've got better courses than a lot of these big companies. I know you do, right? You've got some shit you're really proud of, something that's really, really strong. But they've got the whole marketing system in place. And you can have too. Now, guys, I don't want to bullshit you here. This shit ain't easy, okay? But it's possible. This exists. This is a thing that can be done. Every single step you do makes you more money. Every bit of this you implement makes you more money. So like I said, there's these 3 steps, right? Map out your existing funnel, map out your ideal funnel, and figure out how much money it might make you. Now we've imagined what it would be like to pimp Alan's funnel. Do you want to pimp your funnel? When it comes to this, people usually tell me, it sounds like it takes a lot of time. I'm not an expert. I don't want to spend a lot of time going in the wrong direction. This is like, people get excited, and then these are the kind of things that block them. And I also hear, like I mentioned earlier, it sounds amazing, but it looks like a lot of work. So you've got a couple of options here, right? There's a couple of ways to look at this. You can learn how to do everything yourself, or you can hire someone to help you do it. Now, I'm going to make a guess here, and I could be wrong, but I reckon you don't want to be building this yourself, because it's a major headache. But I'm going to talk you through the way that it works if you do want to learn to do it all yourself, and what I recommend to kind of give you an idea. For those people watching who do want to learn about it, I'm going to explain what's involved. So do you have any experience with any of these already? Webinar presentations, or email marketing, or building funnels, or upsells, one-time offers? If you want to learn about webinar presentation training, if you want to take some training in webinar presentations, I really recommend Russell Brunson's Perfect Webinar Training. Also, Joel Irway's Webinar Vault, really, really strong, really good product. He breaks down like specific webinars, and you can see like what's been done to improve it. I also suggest that you watch other people's webinar training. Sorry, I also suggest you watch other people's webinars. So like Russell Brunson's ClickFunnels webinar is a real masterpiece. So watch that and kind of see, how do other people do it? Email marketing, I'd suggest Digital Marketer's Email Marketing Mastery course. That's pretty good. Webinar software. For webinar software, I really recommend Demio for doing live webinars, or EverWebinar for automated ones. For email marketing software, I'd recommend ActiveCampaign. For funnel pages, like I said, ClickFunnels is really good for that. And then you want to connect it all together, you'll need to use Zapier. That works really well to connect different bits together when they don't have an integration. Now, I'll admit that is weeks of training and several weeks of putting, maybe not several weeks, several months of putting it all together, building the whole thing, like maybe weeks for doing the first one, we'll see. So the other option, and this is what a lot of people prefer as an idea, is go the other way and get help. And this makes a lot of sense, right? Totally makes sense to get somebody else who's an expert in it to do it. And then you can feel confident in your direction and crush your competition. Awesome, right? Get everything working fantastically, get some experts helping you. Now, you can hire freelancers for this. That's totally possible, and I know people who do this, and you need to then hire a copywriter to write the presentation if you're doing a webinar, to write the emails if you're doing stuff more by email marketing, to write the sales pages, that kind of thing. If you're doing webinars, designer to design the slides or design the sales pages, funnel automation expert to put it all together. And it's hard to be certain of the standards, it's true. You can hire cheap freelancers. I would not recommend it, because if you think it's expensive to hire professionals, then just wait till you hire amateurs and you spend the money, you don't get the returns back for it. And of course, what you'll need to do is you'll need to manage the direction of the project. I want to explain now about what I think is the best option, and I'll admit that I'm biased, right? So if you don't want to hear about this, then I'm totally cool if you leave now, and hopefully you've got a lot of value out of what we've gone through so far. We want to help. This is what I would like to talk about. Data-driven marketing. We build these funnels for people, selling online courses all the time. This is all that we do. And we are here to help. We're here to help you. So we can build the entire funnel for you. We can plan out the funnel specifically for selling your course, plan out a specific funnel for you that's going to work best for you, tripwires, webinars, promotions, launches, all that kind of thing. See what's going to work best. We can write every email, set up the funnel, design every page, connect every bit of automation, ensure everything works properly, do everything for you. Then we can optimize it and keep going until it really, really sings. And if you work with us, you'll finally have a funnel that turns traffic into leads and into sales predictably and reliably. And we've helped people to increase their sales. Let's think. We helped one person, he had $14,000 a month in sales coming in, and we increased that to $38,000 a month. We helped someone to do a $200,000 launch. We've helped other people to double the amount of revenue they're making from this. You know, it works really, really well. Got a whole team, they do awesome work. So as a recap, automated funnels are converting like gangbusters. You can plug the holes in a funnel that you've got with the approach that I've shown you today, and it's a lot of work. So if you want to use data-driven marketing, why might you want to work with us? With high quality, everything's done to a really high standard. It saves you a lot of time. It's a very reasonable cost, going to make you a lot more money than what you're spending. We've got processes, so you know everything's done very methodically. We've got SOPs for every different step of the process. We've got templates. Everything is done in a very methodical, reliable way. So if you're interested in working with us, go to datadrivenmarketing.co and fill in the form to apply to work with us. And it's an application process because we only want to work with people who we can deliver a great result for. We have a very high standard we hold ourselves to in terms of getting results for people, making sure people get a really, really strong return on investment. And we really don't like doing work where we're not going to make people more money. So we ask people to fill in this form and tell us a bit about themselves so that we can figure out, is it worth us? Is this something where we can help you? Can we make you enough money? So we have to make sure, because of that, we have to make sure we can only take on clients where we can get great results. And so what you do is you go to the website, datadrivenmarketing.co, and you click on book a call in the top corner, and it takes you to a page with a form. And you fill in the form, and that's going to tell us a little bit about you. So your traffic, your current revenue, how much you want to be making, your email list size, that kind of thing. And then from that, we can figure out, is there something where we can help you to get a really good return? And if so, we can organize booking a call. And the first step, if you book a call, we'll have a chat, and it'll be like 45 minutes, an hour, something like that. I'll just ask you a ton of questions, learn all about you, learn more about your business, make sure for definite if it's something we can help with. If at that point it looks like, yeah, this is definitely something we can do that's going to work for you, then at that point we do an audit, and the audit costs $950. And basically the whole process that we've just gone through today, we would map out your current funnel, we would map out your ideal funnel for you, we'd figure out exactly what your ideal funnel would look like, what steps should be in place, what offers would go where, what order does it go in. We create a plan for doing it, like what needs doing in what order. First of all, we would implement this part because this is going to make you some money straight away. And then we'd implement this part because this is your front-end funnel. This is what's going to work for you best long-term, all that kind of stuff. Based out like 3-month plan of here's everything that we do in the first 3 months. If at that stage you're like, Cool, that's great, thank you very much. I just like the audit and you don't want to work with us after that. That's totally cool. We've just basically made this super cheap to make it easy to get started working with us so that people can feel comfortable and confident and go like, oh yeah, I really like you guys. I like the way you work. I'm happy to move on to the next stage. So if you're interested in that, go to datadrivenmarketing.co and fill out your application now. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you watching the presentation. I hope you got a lot out of it. I really appreciate you trusting me with your time and to help you with this, which is a really important subject. And I hope you get a huge amount out of the rest of the summit and that you get lots of value from it. We've got some amazing other talks. And thanks so much for being part of this.